Lesson 3.11 is an optional extension lesson in which students engage in the engineering design process in order to mimic an external part or feature of a plant to help them solve a problem. The lesson is optional because it aligns with a standard which is actually not present in our first grade Tennessee science standards. But we decided to include this lesson because it can be a fun and engaging way for students to apply their understanding of plants' parts, their structure and function. No materials from the kit are needed for Lesson 3.11. A handout is included in the lesson to help guide students through the engineering design process, as well as scaffold the recording of their design ideas. Lesson 3.11 begins with a class review of Jack and the Beanstalk and uses that story to segue to a discussion about how could the students engineer equipment from plant parts with the goal of helping keep Jack safe throughout the story. The teacher reviews the engineering design process with students, which they use throughout the Quarter 2 kit Lighten Up. Now, in Quarter 3, students will use this process to design safety equipment ideas, which will feature plant parts in creative but reasonable ways. The teacher creates a Class T chart with safety equipment on one side, while students copy this in their science notebooks, and explains to students that they are going to watch a video clip to take notes on the kinds of safety equipment people use in today's sports and activities. Then the teacher shows students a video clip of some tree climbing experts and the various safety gear that they use. The videos can be found in the lesson plan, and the teacher notes that she shows these video clips to students 2 times. The first time, just to give students a chance to process what they are seeing, and then they show the clips a second time for the students to really begin focusing in on those relevant details as to how is the equipment really keeping those people safe. The lesson plan also recommends pausing the video during the second viewing to let students identify and discuss those different types of safety equipment. After students have filled out some examples of safety equipment in their science notebooks, the teacher then writes plant parts to mimic on the other side of the T-chart and will brainstorm with students which plant parts might work when designing each piece of the safety equipment that students have identified from the safety video clips. The teacher will focus on 2 questions for this discussion with the class. The first is, why would this plant part be a good part to mimic? In other words, how would this plant part help us? And then the second question is, how do you see it working as part of the safety equipment? So, for example, a student may design a bicycle helmet made from a seed coat. And that student would explain the way it would work is it would protect a person's head with the strong material of the seed coat, just like the seed coat functions by protecting the seed. Students should use the provided handout in this lesson to plan and organize their designs. The big idea for today's lesson is to have students record their best idea or their best design on paper. In tomorrow's lesson, which is going to be the final one in the kit, students can create an instruction manual to provide the fictional character Jack from the fairy tale with a step-by-step account for how Jack would build the safety equipment and use it to stay safe.